So a week or so ago, we covered a story about some students that was having this slave auction online, and the parents found out and the students found out about this. And we thought, okay, that's a one-off. Well, we have another story, exact same thing in Texas, a little bit outside of the Dallas area. The students, which are black students, found out that these, other racist students were having a slave auction on Snapchat. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Today, I stand to make it very clear. Our sons are not victims. They were targeted in a racially charged incident, terroristic threat, and subjected to racism. I will not let this incident, this town, or the media victimize our sons. So stop victimizing them. They stood up for themselves.
Their sons came to them after they were sent screenshots from that group that initially called itself Slave Trade and pretended to auction off their sons, one for $1 and another for $100.
I am proud of them because instead of letting something that was meant to dehumanize, belittle, and embarrass them, they, our sons, are using it to elevate themselves and the people in their school and our community.
The Aledo ISD administrators injured our sons and our families more so by not being entirely truthful nor transparent about the severity and degree of this racially charged hateful behavior.
We will be part of the change because our sons deserve it.
Now, a little history about that school district. The parents have been having issues with this district and their racism for a while, okay? And the school district didn't really do anything about this whatsoever. So when they was having issues, they came up with a diversity and inclusion plan. They worked it up, went to the school board about it, and the school board voted that down. Now, we have a lot of, school districts that in these places that are very, very white supremacists in nature. Now, as black parents, are you going to subject your children to racial abuse and racialized terrorism? Or are you going to take control of their education yourself and remove them out of those areas and educate them either yourself, hire a private teacher, which I've looked online. They have private teachers that will come to your house. You have to pay them, but they will come to your house and teach your children. I've seen it. It's not hard to find. Private teachers, some teachers are retired. They do it, on the side. And what I saw about the virtual learning was that, like my daughter's school, they have 2 days. They go from 8:45 to noon. And then she has 3 days. She go from 8:45 to 1:30, right? The 8:45 to noon, I like that schedule a whole lot better. They just kind of go through all their classes, do what they got to do, and then they're done, pretty quick. And even if it's 1:30, it's still not long, right? You may have to do that to save your children, because understand, this whole system, including the school system, is wicked, corrupt, and freaking white supremacist. If you talk about you don't trust the police because they're a little bit more visible and they kill black people daily, then why are you trusting the school system? It's the same thing. Every institution in this country has been built off of anti-black racism. Every institution. There's not one that's in this country that you can show me that don't have ties to anti-black racism, slavery, etc. We as black people got to take control of our own children's education. We talk about the racism in this country, then we sit up here and give our children to a school district that's hostile against black children and against black people. We give them to administrators who are hostile either openly or it's underneath the table. And then you expect them to treat us and educate us right. We know they don't educate our children right, or really nobody right at this point. And they don't treat you right. Why would they educate you right? We have to start taking more and more responsibility as parents. I'm not saying your children should be victimized, because understand, when it comes to those students, they were taught that, okay? They weren't born that way. Nobody's born hating anybody. They were taught that. I've done news stories for years. They teach them to start saying all these ugly things about black folks when they barely can talk. That's when they teach them. They teach them to say the N-word before anything else. This is why your child can go to a elementary school, kindergarten, first grade, and then one of those kids are calling your kids the N-word or some sort of racial slur because they taught that at an early age. Either actively teaching them or just the environment of talking all kind of negative and anti-black slurs about you as black people. So we as black people got to be more in control of the education of our children. Oh, this is going to keep happening over and over. And it has happened. Listen, I've been doing this for years. And we as black people got to protect our children. We got to do it. Stop looking to Massa to do it. You know Massa don't care nothing about our children. He proves that every day, right? Stop depending on him. Depend on yourself. There's so many things that you can do. In the state of Texas, you can homeschool. You can hire a teacher. Well, I don't know about. Listen, you got to do whatever you got to do to protect your child and your children. Because if you don't protect your children as a parent, then you sorry and no good. And I'm not for no diversity and inclusion. I told you I'm not for that because I don't like begging nobody to include me in anything. I don't want to be begging you. I'd rather have my own. I don't be begging you. Oh, I guess I give the poor little black people a chance. No. I'm a firm believer, like the scriptures say. You go to where you're going to go. And if they don't receive you, shake the dust off your feet and keep moving. I don't want to be around nobody that don't want me around. I don't want to be around them. I don't want their spirit around me. I don't want their negativity around me. I don't understand black folks with that. Educate your own children. And you wonder why children have self-esteem issues and, they deal with colorism and all the things our children deal with that comes from those schools. It comes from those schools. It is a racially abusive environment. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation with this story. But, we as black folks got to take control of our children's education, folks.